Hello, physics students. Here is your Concept Development Practice page 25.3 teaching video about wave superposition. So this is going to make use of the idea of constructive interference and destructive I spelled that wrong, sorry. Okay, and remember interference occurs when two waves reach the same point at the same time. Constructive interference means that we add the waves together, and destructive means that we're going to kind of subtract, if you will, the waves. They cancel each other out. So we're going to make use of that today when we talk about this wave superposition. So a pair of pulses travel toward each other at equal speeds. The composite waveforms as they pass through each other and interfere are shown at 1 second intervals. In the left column, note how the pulses interfere to produce the composite waveform, a solid line. Make a similar construction for the two wave pulses in the right column. Like the pulses in the first column, they each travel at 1 space per second. So let's make sure that we kind of understand this correctly. And so to kind of help us picture this, I'm going to make this one kind of green. So hopefully you can kind of see that that one's a green, right? And so this one, right, started here, and sometimes it is helpful to kind of have a ruler to kind of keep track, right? This one started here, and so it's moved over one, and this one started here, right, and it moved over one. So they're moving toward each other. So here's still my green one. Right now, they each move again. So move one, this one moves one, right? And so again, here's my green one. So now they've just started to touch, right? So remember, interference occurs when they reach the same point at the same time, okay? So we're going to start to see interference here. So this wave that was here has moved here, okay? And this wave that was here has moved here, right? So this is my green one. Now, what happens here is notice that my resulting line is straight across because I have one, okay, from my brown, or this wave that was moving this direction, and I have one from my green wave, okay, adding together because there's two overlapping here to make two. So next, again, right, here's my brown wave, here's my green wave, right? They're completely overlapping. So 0 and 0 is still 0, but here they're at each at 1. So 1 and 1 is 2. So the resulting wave is right here. Okay? 1 or 2 and 2 is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so forth. Here, right, it looks like the other one, only now this is my green wave moving away. Here's my green wave, and then here's my green wave. So we're going to do something similar with this other one. I'm going to grab one more color pencil. So I'm going to still have this one be green, but when I draw this one, it'll be red, right? And then the resulting, I'll just do in my regular pencil color. Okay? So, right, red one is going to move over one, and it's too high. So it's here, right? And it's going to be like that. My green one is underneath, and it is here. So it's moved one, so now it is here and here. Okay. So I can do, it doesn't matter which one I do first, so since I have green in my hand, right, it's going to move over one, and it's 2, so it's here and here, right? There's my green one. So my red one was here. It's going to move over one, and it's still too high, so it's there and there, right? So they've just started to touch. There's no interference happening yet. Okay? So now I've got my red here, so in my hand, so I'm going to, again, it's going to go over one, and it's still too high, so it's going to be here, and here is my red one, right? My green one was here. It's moving over one, so green, right? So it's here and here. So now I do have some interference, so I have to redraw my resulting wave, right? And here there's nothing, so it's still going to be right there. And there's nothing here, right underneath it. And here it's still 0, so 0 and 2 is still 2. Here, though, I have positive 1 and negative 1. And when I take plus 1 and minus 1, my result is 0. So my resulting wave, what this is really going to look like, is going to come like this for that one. Now, here I have 0 and 2, so now this is going to come back to this spot. Okay. Now here I have plus 1, or sorry, minus 1 and nothing. So now the rest of this is going to follow this green wave. Okay, so there's what, again, this is what my interference looks like. Is my pencil, brown pencil. So now my green wave, right, is moving to the left, and it was here, so it's going to move over 1. It's still 2 down, so it's there and there, right? There's my green wave. Now my red wave was here, and it's going to move over 1, and it's 2 and 2. So, question is, this time, what does my result look like? Well, 0 and 0, so it's here. Positive 1, minus 1, it's here. Minus 2, positive 2, it's 0 again. Positive 1, minus 1, it's 0 again, and 0. So my resulting wave here is a flat line, right? I have destructive interference here, okay? And this is what the resulting wave looks like. So, continuing, right? So my red wave again is going to the right, so it moves over 1 and it's up 2. So here's what my red wave looks like, okay, by itself. If it was all by itself, my green wave is moving this way, so it would be here and here, right? So here, nothing to interfere, it's going to be there. Here, again, no other wave, so my dot is here. Here, again, it's 0 and positive 2, so it's going to be here. Here I have plus 1 and minus 1, which makes it 0. Here I have plus 2 and 0, so it's going to be positive 2. 1 and nothing, so it's just 1. So my resulting wave, right, the interference is going to look like this. There's my interference. Okay, so continuing, my green wave, remember, is going to the left. So it's moving over 1, and it's 2 below. My red one is moving to the right, and it was here, so it's going to move over 1, so it's here. Right, and now, again, we have no interference, so my resulting wave is going to be just these points. All right, last spot, right? My green is still going to the left, so it's going to move over 1. My red one is moving to the right. right? And there's nothing happening here. I have two separate waves, okay, with no interference at all. Okay, so my resulting wave, right, just kind of looks like this. So that is this one. Let's take a look at another one on the other side. So again, we're doing the same thing. They're moving toward each other. Notice our wave is a little bit more complicated. So again, I'm going to stick with this one being red and this one being green. Okay, and the result just being in my regular pencil. Okay, so that they look different and so that we can see what's happening. So this one, right, is moving over one. So we're going to go over one, and it is too high. So it's too high here. It comes down, and then it goes two below. So two below, and then it comes back up. Right, and basically it's moved one from here. So from here, right, in green, it's going to move over one. And so it's here, going up two, coming down, going through, going down two, and coming up. Okay, so it moved over one. So I've got my green, and basically, right, I have no kind of extra special result because I don't have any interference happening yet. They haven't reached the same point at the same time yet. So I have my green in my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and move my green. So my green's going to be here, so up two, down two more, up two. Okay, so there's my green having moved one. All right, my red also needs to move one, so it's going to be here. So it's down two more, down two, right? So it moved over one. Again, still no interference because this is like the first time they've reached the same point, but they're both at 0 and 0. All right, I've got my red in my hand, so I'll do that one first. So it's going to go over one. So it's going to be here. Goes down two more, down two. Okay. My green, right, was here. So it's moving over one. So my green is going to be here. So it's up two more, up two more. Now I'm going to have some interference here, right? Because they're at the same point here. Okay, they've overlapped. Now make sure that I did it right, right? We moved over one, green moved over one. So no interference here, so I'm just going to mark these spots, right? Because there's nothing happening. Here, right, is my first spot where they're the same point at the same time. So I have a 0 and a -2, so it's going to be down here. Here I have +1 and -1, so it's going to be 0. And here I have 0 and a 2, so it's going to be +2. And then here again, we're back to nothing. So my interference pattern is going to look like this. Okay, so the only spots I have anything happening are right here. And basically they canceled each other out mostly. Okay, mostly destructive interference at this point. All right, again, let's do our red one first. So our red was here, so it's moved over one to here, down two more, down two. Okay, my green one, right? He was here, it was here, it's moving over one, so it's going to be here. So from here, it's going to be up two more, up two. So again, no interference happening here. Here it's 0 and 0. Here, though, I have +1 and -1, so that's going to be a 0. Here I have +2, -2, so that's going to be a 0. Here I have +1, -1, so that's going to be a 0. Here it's 0, and then it's going to follow the green wave. So notice I've had destructive interference again, right? The two waves have canceled each other out. And so this is what my wave pattern looks like. Okay. Now my red is still moving. So it was here. It's going to move over 1. And again, it's down 2, up 2, up 2 more, down 2. Okay. My green, right, is right here, and it's moving over 1, so it's here. So it's up 2, down 2, down 2 more, up 2 more. So now we're going to get a little bit different looking something, right? Okay. So again here, nothing. There's no green wave here yet, so it's just the red waves marks, and here it's 0 and 2, so it's just where the red. Now here I have +1 and another +1 from the green wave and the red wave, so that's going to be a +2. Here I have +2 and a 0, so that's going to be here. Here I have +1 and -1, so that's going to be a 0. Here I have a 0 and a -2, so that's going to be a -2. Here I have a -1 for the red one and a -1 for the green one, so that's going to be -2. Here it's -2 and 0, so it's this, and then I'm going to follow that green wave. Right? So I have some constructive, some additive, right? That's what's happening here across my middle. Then I have some destructive interference happening. And then I have some more constructive interference happening. And then we're just following our existing wave. Okay. All right, again, red is going to the right. So it was here. It's going over 1. So it's starting here, down 2, up 2, up 2 more, down 2 more. Our green one, right, was here. It's going over 1. So it's here. It's completely overlapping, right? So this is going to be all constructive interference. So 0 and 0 is 0. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 1 is 2. 0 and 0 is 0. -1 and -1 is -2. -2 and -2 and -2 is -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then -1 and -1 is -2. And then 0. So I have a lot of constructive interference here. Okay, here's what my resulting wave looks like. Now, again, my waves continue to move. I've got my green pencil in my hand, and my green is going this way, so it's going to have moved 1, right? And it's here, and it's up 2, down 2, down 2 more, up 2. My red one was here, so it's going to move to the right one, so it is, red one is here, so it's going to move over 1. So it is starting here, and again, it goes down 2, up 2, up 2 more, down 2, right? So now here they are, And this is going to look, right, this looks very much like this one, right, except they're in opposite positions. So here, 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 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's going to be here. 0 and 2 is 2, plus 1 minus 1 means here, okay, here, plus 1 plus, or minus 1 minus 1 is negative 2, okay, and then again, following that other path. So again, my result is mostly some constructive interference, but we do have a little bit of destructive interference here in the middle. Okay. And then some constructive and some following our previous pattern. So one more move, right? Green is going to the left, so it's going to move over 1, so it's here. So up 2, down 2, down 2 more, up 2, right? There's my green wave. My red wave is here, and it's moving to the right 1, so it's here, and it's going down 2, up 2, up 2 more, down 2 more, right? And again, this looks very much like this one, okay, except the waves are in different positions. So, no interference happening here. Here, that's 0 and 0. Here we have plus 1 and negative 1, so it's going to be 0. Plus 2, negative 2 is going to be 0. Minus 1, positive 1 is going to be 0. 0 and 0, and then we follow our red one, right? And so that's what our interference pattern is going to look like. So again, there is that. So again, we've seen examples of both constructive interference, right, which we see here when we have that completely the two waves overlapping. So each of them's at 2, so we have this constructive interference. Okay. We've seen some destructive interference, right, where we have plus 2 and minus 2, and so we end up at 0. And so we're seeing these different interference patterns that we get depending upon how our waves are interfering, which happens when they reach the same point at the same time. So I hope that helps. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.